Imagine working full-time for a multi-billion-dollar company. You're the finest employee the company has. You have brought in the most profit for this company. The company has used you for all you are worth. But when it's payday, you don't receive a paycheck. This is what it's like working for the NCAA. An employee is a person that does work for another person or group in exchange for compensation. So is that not what the relationship between student athletes and universities have become? Hello, I am Boye-Doe. I am friends with many student athletes, and they have informed me about the amount of time and effort they have to put into their sport, and also the amount of time that they have to put into education. They also have told me that it's hard trying to find a balance between school and their sports. In my opinion, college athletes should be compensated because the NCAA acts as an employer. The amount of time that they spend on their sport is greater than the typical working American, and the amount of revenue made from these athletes is much greater than the scholarship that they're being given by the school. College athletics is a lucrative industry where older men make money off of student athletes. According to IndyStar, the NCAA made $912.8 million last year, 84% of which came from one 3-week event, the Division I men's basketball tournament. Student athletes are risking their health and future livelihoods for a degree which most of them will never use. But the NCAA and university selling point is that a free education is an invaluable experience, which is easy to say when you don't have to worry about your next meal. What is a scholarship compared to the almost $500 million an athlete is able to bring to a school in revenue? Many of these athletes come from low-income homes. Having money in their pocket to go see a movie on a Friday night or be able to order a midnight snack would not hurt. Shabazz Napier, a former star guard from the Connecticut Huskies, said, "There are hungry nights that I go to bed and I'm starving." Being a student athlete has become a full-time job for the most part. You lift, go to class, practice, go to a mandatory study hall, sleep, and do it all over again the following day. One of the cases why I think that players should be compensated was the NCAA was investigating Cliff Alexander for improper benefits. Cliff Alexander was ranked in the top 5 for high school basketball players coming into his freshman year at Kansas University. He was projected to be the second pick in the draft when he came into college, and this was a ranking made by the NBA Draft Express. He was slotted to make millions of dollars, but because his mom took out a loan, he was forced to sit out the last eight games of the season, which I think is honestly just crazy because people take out loans all the time. Like, I'm right now taking out student loans, and I mean I'm not getting hurt by it from the NCAA, so I think it's just crazy. So because he missed the 8 games, it jeopardized his chance of making those millions of dollars because he eventually went undrafted in last week's NBA draft. But the NCAA sells his jersey, and they make money from him, which I don't think makes sense. And he doesn't see any of this revenue. One of the biggest cases against the NCAA, according to ESPN, is called Ed O'Bannon versus NCAA. Ed O'Bannon was a former player for UCLA, and he was He was just watching his kids play a basketball video game and saw that they were playing with him, and he had no idea that the game had him in before he watched his kids play it. Okay, so the lawsuit was filed, like I said, by the former UCLA player Ed O'Banion on behalf of the NCAA's Division I football and men's basketball players. This case challenges the NCAA's use of images of its former student athletes. The lawsuit argued that upon graduation, former athletes are entitled to financial compensation for the NCAA's use of his or her image. So basically, that the case was that the NCAA cannot use their images of the players or their likeness without them getting compensated for it after they graduated. And also, because of this case, many sports video games like NCAA football was canceled because of this case, and also NCAA basketball was canceled because of it. Okay, so in conclusion, the growth of collegiate athletes has resulted in enormous revenues for colleges and the NCAA. It is time for college athletes to get a share of this profit. In my opinion, it is only a matter of time until college athletes will be able to get paid. The central reasons I feel this way is because the NCAA acts like an employer. The amount of time the athletes spend on their craft is greater than the typical working American, and the amount of revenue made from these athletes is much greater than their scholarship. So I hope that you agree with me that college athletes should get compensated. Thank you.